So I will make like more little videos like this, where it's not just like so long, but little brain dumps of informations or things I've learned. So what I want to speak today is like trust your gut and trust your instincts, especially as women, but also men. There's so much wisdom beyond what we know, beyond the informations we know, beyond what we think would be in terms of our logical mind would be right. There's so much, like really so much, that we know and we feel it, and we act not according to this, but often, or we are trained to behave in a certain way, to behave as a woman in a certain way, to dress in a certain way, to talk to others in a certain way, to basically like operate from a place that is in alignment with society standards and norms, and they are different in each culture and in which bubble you grow up in. If you grew up in a social, like very open environment, it will feel unsafe, or it will feel not normal if you're in a space where the people are very emotionally like on their own and don't share as much emotions. And there are like different conditions which we grew up with, and which we trained ourselves to act on, or based on those things we act on and behave and operate from this place, and often also from the place of fear, because we are afraid of what will happen if we don't act according to these standards and those norms and those conditions we learned. We are afraid that we might not be accepted anymore, or that people we really love will leave us if they see the real side of us. And what do I mean with the real side? It's like the side that doesn't operates from a place, or doesn't wear, to name a certain example, if you know you don't like the way you dress, but you dress that way because you learn from society that a woman or a man has to, or like everything in between, has to wear this style to fit in, and as a woman you have to be dressed feminine and for the male gaze or whatever. And you know since you're a little child that you don't like that way to dress. You don't like to wear dresses, for example, or to dress the right society normal standard way. And now you're like in your 20s or your 50s, whatever, and you're afraid of not wearing dresses anymore, or changing the way you've acted, because all the people around you, they know you in the way that you performed, and not only in the way how you dress, but in the way you speak, in the way you express your needs, if you set boundaries or not. And all the people around you, they will be confused, or they will also reflect the confusion that you have with yourself, because also yourself, you have to get to know yourself in the new way as well, because you might find the courage to dress not that feminine anymore, to stay on that example, or to speak your boundaries and to share your boundaries, and others they didn't knew that those boundaries exist. And side note on this, like boundaries, if you have them, and you should have boundaries, and you have to communicate them. You don't have to say, when you enter a relationship, you don't have to say, oh, those is the list of my boundaries. But when people cross your boundaries and you're aware of it, then you should speak to it and say, hey, there's a boundary for me. Or you don't even have to name it, but you can say like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you behaving that way with me, and it makes me uncomfortable, and I don't like it and don't want that it happens again. And that is setting a boundary, and it's important to set a boundary in your relationships, whether it's a business relationship or romantic relationship or friendship, whatever. And yeah, that's like, you have to set boundaries and communicate them, because the other people, they have other boundaries, and they might think, oh, that wasn't a big deal, because it's not something they would feel uncomfortable with. So each individual has different boundaries, and you have to communicate them so that they can match, because as I said, other people, they have other boundaries, and they might not be aware that they crossed the boundary, and you feel like, oh, they are not good for me because they constantly cross my boundaries. But ask yourself, have you ever communicated them? And if you did so and they still cross your boundaries, then it's time to act on it. But still, first of all, you have to communicate them, and you have to stand up for yourself and speak your truth and say no to things as well. So that is as a side note. But yeah, when we learn to express ourselves in the way that we want to express ourselves, whether it's in style or the way we talk or the way we move, and the hobbies, where we knew for a long time or also for a short time that we don't want to do certain things anymore. You don't want to dress a certain way anymore, and you want to explore new styles. And the people around you, they only knew the one side of you, and you as well. You might not had the courage in the past to explore the new style or to explore the new hobby, and or to speak a certain boundary, or to speak boundaries at all. And that's also a part for me, to learn speak boundaries. So that's also a process. And yeah, you might be in this exploration phase where you see that there are things that you want to change, and that there are things, aspects of yourself which want to be heard for a long time, and you didn't give them the space to express themselves, whether it's the style or the things you want to do, but you didn't do because you thought, oh, that would be not for society standards, and as a woman I can't behave this way and this way. But you know they're there, and as you see them, you don't have to act on them directly, but when you choose to react or to express those parts of yourself, then it's an exploration for yourself in the first place. On the one hand, it's for yourself an exploration, because you as well have to be completely non-judgmental in the phase where you explore new things about yourself, where you try new hobbies, where you try new ways of dressing. And you try new things which feel good for you, which might not be in alignment with the society standards and what you grew up in. And so there you have to be like really gentle to yourself to give you the permission and to have the courage to explore those new sides of yourselves, even if society reflects you that that's not good and that's not the right way to behave and all that. And also your friends or your close relationships, they will reflect as well, because they might just have known you in this phase or in this expression, and they might knew the person of you that didn't speak the boundaries, and now you express your boundaries and you set boundaries and you're very clear about it, and that will, like, from external, it will be different. There will be a new aspect of you, and they also have to learn that. And it's good that you do those changes, but what I want to say with this, I think, is that also your environment and the people around you, they might be confused when you try new things, try new hobbies, try a new way to dress yourself, and there might be people who leave you because of that, because they might fall in love or like the person you perform to be, but as they see the true self and the exploration of yourself, where you give yourself the permission to express what you truly want, they might be like, oh, okay, no, that's not what I want, and I will leave the relationship. But that's a good thing if you come back to yourself and you give yourself the permission and have the courage to express what you truly want and what feels in alignment with yourself and what your gut tells you to do. When you come back to home to yourself, then and people leave you because of that, and leave relationship because of that, and things start to shift, and they will start to shift. That's a good thing, because you move closer to what you're aligned with, and you speak your truth more and more, and you find ways to express your needs and all that. And if people leave you because of that, when they get the chance to meet the authentic version of you, and they leave you because of that, because you start to shift, then that's a good thing, because they like the way you performed, and they like the version of you that fit into society standards and all that. And there might be a side of them, an aspect of them, which is afraid to show themselves authentically, and you mirror them that, you mirror that behavior, and you're a reflection of them and of their anxious parts and the anxiety inside of them, where you no longer perform for society and come back home to what truly aligns with you. And as you do so, people in your environment, they might be afraid of that courage you bring to the table. And there will be people who leave you because of that. And if they leave you because you return to yourself, and because you allow yourself to express yourself and to explore different kind of style or hobbies or ways to communicate or a new job and things which you knew and which you know that you want to do and wanted to do for a long time, maybe your whole life, but you suppress that part of yourself and this aspect of yourself because you were afraid of not fitting in. But as you go and reveal all that what society told us, all the conditioning, when you let go of them and let go of this, all the rules we are trained to do and what we are trained to do, that's a really, really good and healthy process, and that's a really good thing. And it's like, in my experience, is so confusing, especially with my style. I remember that I have like scoliosis, and I had to wear a corset. I don't know if it's called corset in English, but like a thing for my back, and I had to wear it like 3 years, I think, and I got it when I was in 7th grade or something. And I really liked, like in my teenage years until 7th grade, I really liked like tight jeans and skinny jeans and all the like also tops which like showed my belly, for example, and all that wasn't possible anymore with the corset, with the thing I had to wear. It wasn't possible because I felt uncomfortable with showing the thing I had to wear. And yeah, I tried to find a new style, and fortunately my mom was like so helpful, also supportive on this, because she said, hey, Leticia, let's go and buy new things, and you can buy a whole new wardrobe. Like, you can pick, there was a budget, but she gave me the courage and the freedom, and she said, like, let's buy things you feel comfortable in it. Like, I got things from my grandpa as well, like his old shirts and stuff. And it was a phase like where I really changed style, because not only because I wanted to hide it, but there was like, I wanted to wear more baggy jeans, because it literally, the corset, it was until it went half my ass, like, and in skinny jeans, for example, you could see like there's some, like, you could see it. And so I like changed my style, and it was really confusing because I had to reprogram or explore my style, and I didn't feel comfortable in it for a long time. But I had to wear the corset for medical reasons, 22 hours a day, I think. And so it is confusing to change the things. It is like, it can be confusing and can feel so uncomfortable, and giving yourself the permission to explore yourself. And there was like a really long time, a period where I wasn't feeling comfortable with the way I dressed, and it took me a few months to feel comfortable in the new way of dressing, and learning ways on which I feel comfortable with and which feel good for me. And this exploration, when I look back, I think like I was really brave, because I also when I was in other cities where I knew there wouldn't be people which I knew, then and it was in the summer, it was really hot, and I always had to wear a shirt beneath the corset, because otherwise it would be on the skin directly, and that wouldn't be so good. So there was a shirt beneath the corset, then there was the corset, and it went from here until like down beneath my belly. So in the summer, when I was in vacation or on holidays, there were times where I chose to show it, and so other people, they could see it. And that was the first time where it took me such like a huge courage to show it in public. But the experience that I had, it was like nobody cares, like for real. I went with it and nobody cared. There was like no experience where I thought, oh, they showed me an evil blick or judged me in some way. No one, like. And even, I think, even if there were people, it gave me like such an insight of how it feels like to not care what other people think about you and to do your thing. This experience was so good and so necessary in a way to do what I want to do, and not to give a fuck about what other people might think about it or what society thinks about it, because I had to wear it for medical reasons. So in a sense I didn't have another choice. If I wouldn't have worn it, I would have needed an operation. So yeah, and this phase, it gave me like such an insight on how it feels like to not give a fuck about what other people think about you, and that literally nobody cares. Like, some people, they might think about it, and some people, they might talk about it behind your back, and some people, they might think like, oh, she or he changed, or what is he or she doing, and they might think it, but I really learned that I don't care about it as long as I feel comfortable with it, and as long as I know that I don't hurt anybody with my behavior as well. And this is also a huge aspect where I look like, okay, does my behavior affect others in a negative way, in a harmful way, or where do I come from? Do I like move from a place of love and what is my intention behind it? So that's also a huge aspect. But on the other hand, I learned that people on the street and strangers that I didn't want, I learned to not think about what they could think and just do the things that would feel good for me. And the reason I share this is because there was a huge, it was a really tough time in a way, because I had my way of dressing, I had my way of showing myself publicly and presenting myself in a way. And then there was a time where I couldn't do different, and I had to change my style. And it was an experience where I really learned that it's uncomfortable and it hurts in a way to leave behind what you knew and discover a new way of living, of a new way of dressing, of a new way of speaking your boundaries and sharing your boundaries, and the way how you're in relationships and stuff. There's like such a discomfort in this, because you have to leave something that served you for a really long time. You have to leave it behind, and it's a huge part, and it affects how other people might also perceive you. But there's such an it's discomfort on one hand, but on the other hand, this experience opened me so many doors to, in the years after that, to go my own way, even if other people would tell me, oh, how that's not the way you should do it, or something like that. And this experience gave me such strength to believe in myself and to believe in my gut and to do things even if other people would do it different and society would do it different, and so I think I started the video with trust your gut, and it was trust your gut with when you want to change something and you want to do and try new things of living, of exploring yourself, and there are aspects of you which like to be discovered, but you might not do them because you're afraid of what society could think. Then I want to encourage you to try it, and maybe also try it in an environment where you feel safe, or where you know that other people won't directly hear from it or experience it. As an example, when I showed the corset in a different city where I knew that there wouldn't be friends of mine, and I found ways to find your ways to explore those spaces before showing them to others, and because this gives you the experience of knowing how you feel with it, and not looking around you and thinking the whole time what could they think, or what could they think, and receiving their reactions to it from people you really care about, because that might block what you want to discover. It might make you feel like, oh, okay, they judge me for that, so I will quit it again. I will quit it and not do it again because my beloved one didn't like that aspect of me. So I want to encourage you to explore those things first for yourself in spaces where you feel safe and can make this experience for yourself, and not based on environments where other people can judge you. So strangers can judge you as well, of course, but there might not be it might not be so life-changing. It is in some aspects it is life-changing, of course. Everything is in some way, but when friends judge you and in a harmful way, then a relationship you relate on for a long time will might break if you continue to explore that phase that they don't like, or explore that aspect of yourself that you want to show and want to explore. And if they if they tell you that they don't like that new thing about you, then you will be more likely to shut that door down again, and to shut it down and quit it again, because if you continue it, then there might be the possibility of losing a really good friendship, or even a partnership, a romantic relationship. And so I encourage you to first of all explore those things and become aware of what you want to explore. Maybe a question for you, what is there, what has been there for a long time that you want to explore, and want maybe a new way of dressing, or a boundary that you want to set with someone, and want to speak about for such a long time, but you were afraid of what they could think, for example. And how can you cultivate that and explore it for yourself, and become curious about it, and allow those aspects to take up room and take up a space, and and then exploring it. And there might be discomfort, and there might be a phase where you don't know how it will go, but you will with the intention of exploring it and giving these aspects space, you will be led in a way. That's my experience, because like it was really hard to do those things, and not only with the corset, with the scoliosis, with the thing I had to wear, but also like when I left school and left a friend group, and there were so many things where I felt like, oh, this is not what society would expect me to do, and this is not what my environment communicates me what I should do. But I had such a strong feeling, such an intuition that I have to move, and I have to leave the school and leave the friend group. And in the end, looking back, it was always the right timing and the right decision, and I'm so grateful that I did it, and gave me the space to explore what I want to do, and explore the and leave situations behind that didn't felt in alignment anymore. So it opened doors for new things to occur, and they always happened. And but it takes courage to leave things behind, that's for sure. So yeah, I think this video is an encouragement of trusting your gut feeling and giving yourself room to explore those things, even if it doesn't fit for society standards, or if your environment wouldn't do it. And then keep it private first, and do it for yourself, and explore how you feel with it, and give yourself room to explore it for yourself. That's also something I do with dancing. I explore it for myself and how I feel with it, not how it might look for others. I think that will come later, that I will when I dance, I love to dance, and I love also dancing with friends, and on events, I love it. It's really really good. And I give myself room to explore it here in my private room, where nobody can see me, so that I can feel the movements and not only dance when I'm with others, because that might train my brain to only move according to the way how it would look good, or how it would attract the person in the room. So give yourself room in private first, and trust your gut that you know the answers, and that you know what to do and how to move. And trust yourself, really.